Hello, Knights fans. Back with this week's edition of the FDU Men's Basketball Report. As always, with Coach Greg Herenda. Coach played two top 50 teams this weekend. Some tough losses out there, including the number 23 team in the country in Seton Hall. But you talked about it in the postgame at Penn State, how the two games were eerily similar to each other. And obviously the deficits were similar, and there were some other similarities with 46 points in the paint for both teams. But for you, what were the two things that you saw from both games?
Well, we came out and got leads in really big venues. You know, we were not in control of the games, but quite honestly, we were playing well, had leads, and then, you know, we just kind of gave the ball up too easily. You know, and that's the one thing my teams have never. This is my 12th year as a head coach. We've always handled pressure well because we pressure ourselves in practice. But again, Jaleel Jenkins and Elijah are the first two guys to handle the basketball in our press break, and obviously they're two freshmen. So it was good to see that we came out and belonged and had significant leads, especially in the second game against Penn State. You know, we were up, for about close to 11 minutes of that first half. But when we, our bench is a little bit, Nadi couldn't play on Sunday, Tyler's out, Darien's out, Darnell was. So we were depleted, but we showed signs, and it wasn't spurts we played in. We played for minutes and segments, so take a lot out of the two defeats. But again, at the end of the day, we think and we thought and we still believe that we could have won one of those games or both of the games. So at the end of the day, when you're 0-2, it still stings. We've set the bar really high here, but the bar was just a little bit out of our reach this past weekend.
Yeah, you called Darien. We've been out without Darien Anderson. You called him your Aaron Rodgers of this team. But without Darien for these first two games,
I should have said Deshaun. Is it Deshaun Watson or what's the kid for Texas?
Yeah, it's Deshaun Watson. Yeah, in Houston.
He plays more like Watson, but no, he's our heart. He's our soul. But again, we haven't. It's only going to make us better. It's made Jaleel better. Jaleel goes for 9 and 6, and and it makes Pat McNamara get on the floor more, and he's made a bunch of threes. So when you miss a guy, another guy makes up for it, and he benefits from it. But hopefully we'll get Darien back here soon, and then our team will be complete. With him back, the pieces fit the puzzle. Without him, everyone's trying to do a little something that they're not ordinarily doing, and it makes it more difficult. But I just loved how Mike, Holloway stepped up, and how Jaleel stepped up, and Elijah, Pat McNamara, Darnell at Seton Hall, Elijah both games really as a freshman. I can go down the list, but we just didn't handle the pressure well enough and didn't sustain it for 40 minutes.
You talked a little bit about the freshmen, and obviously you want Darien Anderson out there.
Right.
But without him, it's given these guys some valuable minutes in some big-time environments. You played at Bryce Jordan Center and at the Prudential Center. So specifically with Jaleel and Elijah who were in the starting lineup, but also Noah Morgan, who came off the bench and gave you some good minutes. How valuable will this be down the stretch for those three freshmen specifically as they mature?
Yeah. And you know what? I think you're right. It's going to – but they didn't play like – maybe Jaleel, when he got doubled and triple teamed, played like a little bit like a freshman. But those guys have been playing good basketball since the day they set foot on our campus. So it's not like these guys, or our freshmen are really, really good. And we have Xavier Malone, who's sitting out, that just teases me every day because he's really good. And Pat McNamara, who struggled, in our close scrimmage against Fairfield, struggled against Manhattan, but when the lights go on, you can see he's a competitor. He's not afraid. He makes shots. Defensively, he's scrappy. So yeah, I think everyone in this league is going through the same things. I see my cohorts going, to Missouri and going out to St. Mary's out in California, and everyone's competitive to a point, but it only helps all of our teams. But most specifically, it's going to help our freshmen.
You touched a little bit about Pat McNamara. You knew he'd be a shooter 2 for 2 from 3. And Noah Morgan, who was kind of, I guess, petitioned as this guy who's going to come in, be a defensive stopper. Right. But he's also shot the ball pretty well from 3. Have you been surprised with his offensive game?
Noah's just a very efficient player. And to his defense, at Mount Vernon, he was a 4-man and played with a really good 5-man. That's at George Mason right now. So he was always at the high post. but is an extremely good shooter. Between 16 and 17. But now that we've put him at the 3, he's just moving back a foot and a half, and he's strong enough to make them. So, no, he makes a lot of shots every day in practice. So, and the one thing about Noah, just like really for the most part our team, but he's not afraid of anything. Like, he just comes in, and when he catches the ball, it's like he's been here for a long, long time, where sometimes, people have to get their feet wet. But, Noah had 7 steals in the exhibition game. He scores when he has to. He can rebound. He's really a throwback, and he had a really good weekend.
We talked a lot about Mike Holloway entering the season, how he was going to step up as a leader. He averaged 16 points over those first 2 games going against All-American Angel Delgado, and
Right.
Mike Watkins from Penn State is another handful. But what I've noticed, at least from the sideline, is really he's embraced the leadership role. He's been pulling the guys aside between plays and talking to some of the freshmen, hey, maybe you should have been here, maybe you should have missed this. Have you noticed that as well, that he's really assumed the leadership role on the court?
I've said it from day one. Mike was always a great learner. When you tell Mike something from the day he set foot on campus, he listened and absorbed it. Now that he's a junior, now he's a great teacher, and he does it, all the time. He's vocal. He understands the game, and he's a little bit, unusual for a big man. With most big guys, you can't get them to open their mouths up, and sometimes Mike overcoaches his teammates, but it's great because the kids listen, and they listen because guess what? When you put up 19 against Watkins and 13 against Delgado, you earn respect, and Mike has earned the respect of his peers and I think the opponents. I think both of the games when they were over, they realized that Mike Holloway is a good basketball player.
So now you'll return home. You have 4 straight home games here before to close out 2017. You won't be home again until 2018, January 4th. So upcoming here, you have the 2 Division III teams, FDU Florham and Kane. How important is it for your teams to be strong and not have any kind of letdown against the D3 squads?
Well, we haven't won a game. We went to Fairfield, and that was a close scrimmage. Then Manhattanville, we won the exhibition game, but we haven't won a college basketball game for a lot of these guys. And Florham comes in here, and this is Paulie Pavilion to those guys and to Coach Marion. And we've been successful since we've played them, since I've been here. But until you win a game, and I don't care who you play against, you've got to do it. But the schedule's set up that, we played 2 really hard games. We learned from it. Now we've got the longest, I think, homestand of my coaching career. To have 4 straight games here is really, really special, and I think Florham's going to present problems. Keene is going to send problems, and then right before Thanksgiving, we got 2 teams that were NCAA teams 2 years ago in Holy Cross, and Ivy League returning champions in Princeton. But I think it's exciting. I can't believe Thanksgiving is a week away and everything. But like if you're local and you like our team, and our team's exciting, we've got 4 straight home games, and we have to make hay. We got to win one, and then win the next one, and then win the next one, and win the next one. And so this team is right now. Its practice today was not the most friendly practice, and that's good because we don't get used to losing and we don't like it. But I think over these next 4 contests, we'll get better and better, and if we do, we'll win some basketball games.
Thanks for your time this week. Good luck in this homestand.
You got it.
So the Knights will welcome their campus compadres, FDU Florham, here on Wednesday night for a 7 o'clock tip-off. Then on Saturday, the Kane University Cougars will come to town. That is a 2 o'clock start on Saturday. So for all information about the FDU Knights men's basketball team, head to fduknights.com.